Welcome to MTMG's IT Roundtable, where we bring the power of human connections to the tech world. Our experts become part of your team, so whatever tech problem is keeping you up at night, we can help you solve it.
Joining us today is Kevin Cook, the Chief Technology Officer at BrainSell, a growth enablement company specializing in business technology solutions. With over 20 years of experience in media production and high-tech industries, Kevin leads BrainSell's technology strategy, focusing on accelerating AI innovation for clients. In this episode, we'll explore how businesses can overcome technology challenges, the role of AI in driving growth, and the importance of effective change management and technology adoption. Lots to cover. But if you could give us a 2-second or a little bit of a background on how your career has led you to this point.
2 seconds.
Yeah. Sorry. That was a little concise.
Nice to chat with you guys. Nice to chat with you guys. I'll be brief. Okay. So I had no idea I was going to be here ever. And I'm going way back. My original is a little boy. And I always ask you, what do you want to be? And it's a fireman, a doctor, or whatever. As a little boy, I wanted to be an inventor. Truth, that's absolutely, I knew I wanted to be an inventor. I did not know what that meant, but I wanted to be an inventor. So when I had to pick a major in college, you go to college, what are you going to be? So I had no idea. I loved reading books. So I decided to be a double degree in physics and English. And the physics led to, I was actually a card-carrying physicist for a few years. But then one thing led to another. I went down the English road, the communications, blah, blah, blah. Got into sales and marketing, which is what people do when they get laid off. That happened to me once. And then I just fell in with BrainSell. And finally, I can actually be a real inventor. It only took me a couple of decades, but I went from wanting to be an inventor through physics, through journalism and English, into CTO and technology.
Very interesting. An inventor. Wow.
I know how many kids want to be an inventor.
Yeah,
when 6.
That is great. I know that you have a background in media production, and I was wondering if you could share with us your journey from media production to becoming the CTO at BrainSell. And specifically, you were a journalist in Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken. And if you could talk about how has that influenced your approach to technology and business process management?
Absolutely it has. Absolutely. So I was a physicist, working as a physicist, wanted to go back to grad school. Initially wanted to study math. So I was going to get a master's in math. But then my dad said, you got that English background. I never matriculated with my English degree. So I ended up putting it aside after a few years. And my dad says, you're good at writing. Just take an English class or writing class or something so you have something to fall back on in grad school. So I was okay with heck, I'll take another. I took a journalism class and I loved it. And literally that week, I switched my major from math to journalism. There's a lot of consternation there, especially my employer who says, wait, we're paying for math. Anyway, so they let me go into journalism. And it was great because it's all about communication. And it was all about a story, telling a story. So now you think, okay, how does that affect technology? Well, that telling the story doesn't, except it allows you to understand the people. How do you tell a story about what a tech company needs to do? What does a sales vice president need to do? You just listen to people. They tell you the story and you can tell them that story back. The journalism, I think, and actually working as a journalist, as a reporter in Baltimore for a very short period of time, allowed me to learn how to tell stories. And these days, when you're doing business analysis at BA work, and one of the things that our BAs do here at BrainSell is they collect user stories, right? And so the story really is key. And this isn't just platitude. That's really a key to getting to the next step of actually understanding what needs to be done in technology. But then also my one of my jobs out of grad school in television was with MSNBC in the very late 90s. MSNBC was when there was a real thing's convergence between TV and internet. And I was really interested in TV and internet. So what's that going to mean? So I was focusing on what do they call? I can't remember what the term was. I don't know how the two emerge. And it ended up, everybody thought that it was going to be TV, but no, internet ate TV. The internet ate the TV. But that led to the technology. So I had I could tell stories, learn about stories, and I was in internet and TV convergence it just seemed natural to go down the technology route. So I was focusing on tech.
I think you really hit on it as well with the storytelling.
Yeah.
It is so critical in so many different aspects of business today, whether it's the CEO crafting the right story to make sure everybody's in line within the organization and really everyone understands the vision that they're trying to do, or it's salespeople trying to help sell the story of what the benefits are of the organization, or all of those different areas that as a skill set is something everybody really should be trying to get a little better at. And with your background in media, that's probably pretty helpful.
Paul used a great word there. I was going to use that same word, vision. So many times, I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit later, but so many times projects fail because the customer's vision doesn't match the consultant's vision or the engineer's vision.
Mhm.
And you clarify that vision through a story.
I completely agree. And it's something Joe and I've talked about many times is some of our clients have asked us to help them align the vision between business and technology. So the business leaders are saying, okay, hey, we've got these 7 goals that we need to hit this year. And you technology should go use AI because it's new, it's flashy, it's whatever. But then the technology people should be saying, well, that's fine and good. But how are we using it? How are we leveraging that technology to achieve the business goals you've set? And if they're not actively communicating together, things are going to go awry. So to your point, it's used so many different areas, but that actually brings up a point. What are some of the common challenges clients face when integrating AI specifically into their existing systems?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. AI specifically. I think AI is the buzzword. So do you know the definition of AI? It's
Artificial
what
intelligence.
No, it's what every new product is powered by. Uh,
There you go. Right.
Mhm. I think you right on the money. It's the getting to what is the underlying need? What is the underlying challenge you're trying to overcome? And also helping leadership in organizations understand exactly what AI truly means. It's funny, we use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever the different tools are, but they're just a means to an end. The AI is the underlying technology. The ChatGPT is just the interface that allows you to access that tool, but helping executives understand that. We've got a member of our team that does executive coaching, and it's all about, hey, look, you, Mr. Executive, never had to deal with AI yet, but you're going to. We can show you some simple ways it can do so much good for you specifically. Then, as they start to understand it, we can start to bring in other groups. So we could bring in a brain cell. We could bring in some of our other organizations to say, okay, now you want to implement things. Let's find out what you're trying to implement, but helping them get an idea of what exactly it all means and what some of the real tangible benefits are, even with just the simple things. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Interesting. So you brought up a couple of different things about silos in companies and the different groups that you have to deal with. How does BrainCell assist the clients in overcoming the data silos to ensure the effective AI implementation? Yeah. Yeah. Right. It does. It does. And there, when we talk about silos, you've got the people that are actually in those silos, right, and doing their jobs, and then you actually have the data that's stored in the different silos. So a company might be using 10 or 15 different programs that they've got data stored in, and the people just want to access that data. We have a partner of ours, Andy Rosick, who we've talked to on this podcast, and he has a company that pretty much they have software that will go in and take all of that data that you've got in these different silos and then bring it to one, so that you can just ask it a question. Hey, what were the top sales things that we had in this particular vertical, blah, blah. And then it just gets it. It doesn't, so you don't have to go fishing in all these different areas. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, right.
mhm. Yeah, and one of the things Andy's tool is all about is something you were talking about, is it's creating the keyboard and mouse. It's allowing the tentacles to go into all the different data sources that a small to medium business might have. CRM, a Salesforce tool, a finance tool, a weather tool, whatever it happens to be, and give you one interface to allow you to do that communication so that it creates a ChatGPT like experience for your data specifically across all the different platforms that you have. That's their key, is to be that interface for all those different platforms. But it's just an interesting thing that they are coming to market with, and is very similar to what your approach on AI has been. It's the keyboard and mouse. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, it's interesting stuff. But talking about all this change, how does BrainCell help organizations overcome any organizational resistance that is inevitably going to come up?
I'm sure one of the areas that must come up is data security, privacy with customers, obviously today. How does BrainCell address those concerns when it comes to AI implementations?
Those are great points. Great points. And you're right. It isn't just about AI, it's about all of your data and being secure there. So completely agreed. But that summing all of this up, in the industry, what are the key factors that determine the success or failure of a technology adoption project? And it doesn't have to be AI, but today that's what most companies are looking at. But what are those key factors that companies really need to keep in mind? Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
Hmm. Well, we did exactly that. We put out a guide about how companies can create an AI centric culture. And it really was about not, you can help your implementations without spending a penny on the technology, but all about how you empower your employees, how you listen to your employees, how you make sure they're part of the solution and not just focusing on the technology. So we couldn't agree more with you. So right on the money.
Yeah. And it's funny because we have a lot of people that we've spoken to on this podcast, all different types of companies, different walks of life, different responsibilities that they have. And it all typically comes back to what you just said. Every single one of them would say, you know what, this is all great technology and so on, but without the people and without the process, it's no good. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Right. So we could probably spend a few hours on this next question because it has so many tentacles to it. How do you envision AI transforming business operations in the next 5 years? That's probably the right answer. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I think that's right on the money. And it really comes back to what people were talking about with 5G years ago is, oh, the killer apps we don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be great. That hasn't materialized, to be honest. I keep watching. Joe and I have been in the mobile industry for 20 years too. We have watched that, and I personally haven't seen a lot of great usage for 5G versus LTE yet. It coming. What?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But what's interesting is that the 4G, nobody ever thought about Uber and Lyft, which really became empowered because of 4G technology.
That's a really good point.
But that happened pretty quickly. Like 5G, we're still waiting. I agree with you.
Mhm. And mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm. It's all a fascinating thing, and hopefully your crystal ball is correct, and people will be the reason for those great ideas. I love it. This has been outstanding. Is there anything before we wrap on the kind of business side of things? Is there anything you want to bring up about Brain Cell that you think everybody should know? Would it be fair to say Brain Cell, the quick 20-second elevator pitch is really about helping small to medium enterprise implement the CRM, the ERP, the technology tool like AI, whatever it happens to be, implement it the way a large enterprise could, but they just don't have the resources to do it. Your team can come in and help them with when any of those applications. But yes, it will start with people and process, but that's the main idea is that, hey, look, we can be your outsourced team to help you implement these important tools without having the staff to do it yourself. Okay. Even better. I love it.
Kevin, now's the time of the podcast where we move on to questions that are all about Kevin. So more than mere genius questions. And these are just fun questions to answer. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just all about you. So outside of work, what is an activity that you're passionate about? Ah, nice. Yes. Eh, Yeah,
I was going to say that everyone, it's funny. My first thought was, oh, that's another new one.
yeah.
'Cause we often hear a lot of the same stuff. And when we hear somebody come up with something that's very different than anything we've heard, it sticks. That one is it.
That is it. Yeah.
Statute of limitations. You're all right.
Yeah. Wow.
Amazing. Well,
That's all right.
there's nothing wrong with that. This is all about getting to know you.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is you were Doc Brown in a different
Yeah. I
life.
was gonna say,
Um,
time travel.
exactly. And well, I guess the question is, do you have a DeLorean? But
Yeah.
Oh,
perfect. Perfect. Name one blog, podcast, or TED Talk that has inspired you. That'll work too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's outstanding.
So who was an important mentor for you at any time in your life?
That's outstanding. I did a lot of work with Raytheon in the early 2000s, and they still have that same culture. It's not him anymore, but leadership there constantly is integrating with colleges and universities and trying to give back a little bit. And I'm sure there's some other reasons why they want to find the next talent to come into the organization too. But there is that ingrained in their culture that they really want to be part of and have that energy again. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. I thought you were going to say he said people in process. And
Yeah.
then
Right.
All right. Back to the questions. Which talent that you do not have would you most like to?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's very
well,
fair.
fair. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I don't think it's banal at all. I think having just been there a year and a half ago, is amazingly beautiful, and some of the food was so spectacular. Um, mhm. What profession other than yours would you love to try? Mhm.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Who is your favorite superhero? Okay.
It's outstanding. What is your favorite sound?
Very nice. Besides the Spider-Man theme song, what is your favorite song when you are stressed or need a lift? Oh, yeah. Okay.
This has been like old home for me with because you said this, and we had another gentleman that was Jefferson Starship. We built this city. It's like going back
Right.
to my high school days. It's like, yep, okay. Uh, all right, we won't have you on the podcast with him. Um, no, I'm kidding. All right. And this is the one that we love to wrap it up with. What is the one thing you most want to be known for after you're gone? Those are great. Mhm.
Excellent.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much for joining us. I think it's really clear why BrainCell is so excited to have you as part of the team and have you leading their technology, and also what the great things it can do for organizations and why we're proud to be partnering with you. But Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's why we got into this business too, is all about helping people. We've both been in different parts of the mobile industry and seen vendors not doing things well for clients and seeing clients really struggling with how to control their environments and saying, there's more that can be done here. We can help these companies get more out of their mobile environments.
Right.
And then it grew from there. But then we started to partner with companies like BrainCell because you fill in a lot of gaps that we don't touch, but it had the same mindset. I've known Peter Lawley for years, and I know the character that he has, not the character he is. I was going to say, not the character he is, but the character he has. And that's why we wanted to do business with you guys, because it is so critical to what we want to deliver. It's that same mindset. It's how can we help you today? Yep.
Yeah.
True. Well said. I think right there is a perfect place to leave it. This was a fantastic conversation. And I know I asked you this before and you've already said yes, so I'm going to hold you to it. Love to have you back on to talk about AI and technology in the future. So thank you so much for joining us. Well, I'm all for it. It's you're the one that'd get banned. So, hey.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, they also heard about your father getting all the scientific instrument and things. Yep. You're batting a lot here, trying to get yourself in trouble. But fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So that brings us to the end of today's conversation. Thank you for joining us. If today's discussion resonated with you, please consider giving us a 5-star review. Your feedback not only supports our show, but also helps others find us. Thank you so much for listening to MTMG's IT Roundtable. We look forward to bringing you more conversations soon. Until then, take care, and know our team is always here to help. Sanchawa.
MTMG, guidance that empowers.